Cello Man Boxing, Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford, the final press conference. What did we see? Stay tuned. Cello Man Boxing, welcome. Today we're going to talk about that fiery press conference. It was lit, you know. Both teams were amped up. And as the fight gets closer, we can see that both guys are getting meaner and meaner, more and more serious. And it's manifested in different ways, you know. We see classic ready Terrence Bud Crawford. You know, at the face-off, he never turns away, okay? And when Errol Spence turned away after the face-off, you know, Terrence Crawford was kind of like, he was like kind of like snarling, like he's a rabid animal ready to get to work. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, well, Errol Spence turned away first. Man, look, Errol Spence, he does that every single fight. He turned away from his biggest fights. He turned away from the guy, Kell Brook. He turned away from Kell Brook in one of his biggest fights. He turned away from Ugas. He turned away from all those guys. Okay? That's just Errol Spence. And he has been on record saying, look, I don't care nothing about the face-off. He cares about the fight. Right? So we saw both guys. What's interesting is Terrence Crawford got into it with one of the Spence fans. He was cursing. He was you know, nigger this, nigger that, calling him all kind of 4-letter words and whatever it is. To me, that was weak. You know what I'm saying? That was uncharacteristic, and you could tell. I don't know if it's the moments getting to him, but it's uncharacteristic of Terrence Crawford to act like that. You know, you see him with the Sean Porter fight. Some people ask him the most, you know, you see him on the Breakfast Club. I mean, people ask him all kind of questions. What if he lose? This, that, and the other. But you don't see him acting like that. And normally he's very calm. I've seen him on interviews saying the loudest man in the room is the weakest man in the room, right? And the quietest man in the room is the one you have to watch out for. I've seen him go on record and say that, right? But in the press conference, not saying that this is going to affect the fight, but in the press conference, Spence was the quietest man in the room. As a matter of fact, even Derek James got out of character. He's always cool, he's always calm, he's always collected. But man, even Derek James started getting out of character. And what I'll say is this, those guys from Omaha, man, they talk a lot. Those guys from Omaha talk a lot, and it seems like that's just the culture, but they talk a lot. So one thing I realized in the press conference, you can't beat those Nebraskan dudes when it comes to ish talking. When it comes to talking greasy, you can't beat those Nebraska dudes, man. They just get nasty with it. They quick with it. I think the whole exchange between Derek James and Bomac, Derek James was trying to be, he was trying to be witty, you know what I'm saying? He was trying to be funny, you know, talking about how fat Bomac is and stuff like that. Man, look, Bomac just went straight greasy with it. He told him, shut the F up, okay? You know, a lot of that kind of stuff. I think it was tasteless, personally. I think it was tasteless, but it's that point in the fight. It's that point. You wouldn't be seeing these guys acting like this if they didn't think that the other guy was a big threat. I don't care what they say. They could say, oh, it's going to be easy for Bud, blah, blah, blah. As a lot of people saying, oh, it's going to be easy for Spence. Look, you wouldn't see teams acting like that if they didn't know something, that this is the toughest fight of both fighters' career. And I agree with that. Anyone who knows boxing will agree with that. But I mean, I said before, I got Spence. I think it's gonna come down to fundamentals, and I think Spence is more precise with his shots. Bud is a little faster with single shots, but when it comes punch for punch in combination, I think Errol Spence is a lot more precise because he's much more fundamental. But that doesn't change the fact it's gonna be a great fight. Great fight. I also noticed, man, Terence Crawford, I think he admires Spence, you know. I really think he admires Spence. The man came out with black Air Forces, just like Errol Spence. When have you ever seen Terence Crawford wear black, low-top, low-cut Air Force? You've never seen him do it. But he's watching everything, you know. He's watching everything. And I think he kind of copied Spence a little bit. But yeah, it was a good press conference. Both guys are ready. I don't want to hear no excuses on the 30th after this fight. No excuses. Both guys are ready. Both guys, they prepared the most that they can prepare, and it's gonna be fireworks. It's gonna be fireworks. It's gonna have a little feel out dynamic to the fight, but then it's gonna let loose. Once they figure out each other's distance, once they start getting into rhythm, it's gonna get greasy. It's gonna be like a mudslide. It's gonna start off slow, and then it's just gonna start hurling down the hill. And whoever has the most fortitude, whoever is willing to go to that dark place to win, whoever is willing to be hurt, whoever is willing to take a good shot, whoever is willing to be disciplined all the way to the end, whoever can endure till the end, that's who's gonna win. So that's the Salaman Boxing Spotlight on the final press conference. Everyone's ready. I'm ready. I hope you're ready. Let's just wait for the weigh-in. Blessings.